episode for you. It's called What's Next? Genocide. So, and I've also officially been kicked off Patreon. Not that I never really cared, but it's a pretty funny exchange. A little back and forth. Let me just read you this quickly. So David, a sodomite clearly, from Patreon says, "Hi Owen, my name is David, and I'm on Patreon." No, he's probably a grabbler. "Oh, my name is David, and I'm a Patreon's trust and safety team. I'm writing to you to let you know that I've removed your creator page for violating the site's community guidelines. Patreon endeavors to be a space where thought leaders can... By the way, if I'm not a thought leader, who is? Anyway, engage in difficult topics, criticize the powerful, and question pervasive ideologies. Patreon doesn't, however, allow creators to propagate negative stereotypes on the basis of status within a protected class, which we communicated to you in email sent in April of last year. In a number of your posts and shared on Instagram and in videos you've shared online, you've targeted Jewish people with similar negative stereotypes. Because you've attacked people on the basis of religion, I damage to remove your creator page. I paid you your final creator balance of about... By the way, it was like $1,900 they owed me. And so that's clearly some sort of numerology, or just he's trying to be a jerk. In the future, if you want to fund a new project on Patreon, this is when... Alright, so my response is I said, I forgot I had a Patreon. Enjoy your weekend. I really did. I like kind of, because I think that it was, the payouts were going to PayPal, and since I've been kicked off PayPal, I don't remember though. It might have been going to my bank. I just forgot I had a Patreon. But there was a lot of people that used Patreon to support the channel, and now they said, I mean, the hypocrisy is so obvious, I don't even have to get into it. I never trusted Patreon, that's why I never posted on there. But if people wanted to support, they could. Here's the thing, I'm kicked off all internet monetizations. My YouTube got demonetized, my PayPal. But I'm crushing, because people support what they like. If you would like to support, P.O. Box 727, Gig Harbor, Washington, 98335. Become a member of unauthorized.tv. I see the writing on the wall and I adapt. I don't stay in that victim mentality. Like, when I was friends with Steven Crowder, I respected that he would fight back against the hypocrisy and the upside down of YouTube and all that stuff. But he just stays in that place. Like, there's no growth. It's like, all right, we've established that they're not trustworthy and creators feel unsafe with the Trust and Safety Board. Now what? And it's like, well, we just keep complaining and that's it. It's like, no, but don't we build something? And yeah, it's crazy how little I cared. That's $1,900 a month. But like, because we're doing fine and people support and the tour was very successful, I laughed. I laughed at all the logical inconsistencies in that, where it's like, we're here so that you can challenge people with power. Well, just a little FYI, 1% of all of the population are 40% of the billionaires. Can anyone guess what that 1% is? I'll give you a hint. They wear super tiny hats. Did you know 74% of the Me Too predators have very small hats? And they're just spiraling. And their spirals don't affect me. Let's kick things off here. $5.11 is the new tip, right? So again, if you want to support, because corporations, that whole power structure rejects people who think like normal people, and they're not upside down. I'm not a programmer. I'm not here to program you. So I'm not allowed in their circle. So if you want to support, I have a P.O. box, and unauthorized, and unbearablesmerchandise.com. But there's many forms of support. You don't need to give me money if you don't have any, or you just don't feel like it. Just hit the like button, hit the Rogan's up, send it to a friend, have children, think about these ideas, awaken, You know? Yeah, it's a deprogramming channel. Alright, so anyway. NBA loves the Chinese Communist Party. Well, it just goes to show how easy it is to beat these people. Just don't cuck. China's not cucking. They will not cuck. Like that original Jew and the Chinaman sketch that me and Mountain Bear did. Think about how ahead of schedule that was. Let me just play this. Let me play this, and then, hang on 1 second. Then we have a good stuff for you. Okay, this was a while ago that we made this, right? Think about how applicable this is now. Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, is obviously a grabbler. Grabble, grabble, grabble. And this is the interaction between a Jewish man and a China man. And we just watched it on the world stage. That's why, if you value me and the information I give you, P.O. Box 727, Gig Harbor, Washington, 98335, become a subscriber at unauthorized.tv. Because it is valuable to have these insights way ahead of schedule. This is called the Jew and the Chinaman. Here we go. This is the clash of the two cultures. The Jewish NBA and the Chinese government. It's what plays out in the micro plays out in the macro. This is a culture. One culture is subversive, sarcastic, narcissistic. The other culture is cold, calculated, and immovable. And they have a multi-generational memory that holds a lot of spite. Okay, this is called The Jew and the Chinaman, made by the great Mountain Bear. On Benjamin Bits, if you want to subscribe on YouTube. Let's enjoy together, shall we? So I paid you to clean my slacks. So just substitute this with the current problems, and it's an identical conversation. And guess who wins? I'll give you a hint. It's not the guy with the little hat. So I paid you to clean my slacks, and I love that the mustard is still in my slacks. Why you love mustard in your slacks? Kinda sounds like my therapist. I just love paying my hard-earned money to have somebody not take the mustard out of my slacks. Why you waste money? That makes no sense. You crazy. Well, tell that to my therapist. Get out of here. No pants for you. I mean, I guess this is business. This is a good business plan to not take out the mustard out of my slacks. That's not a business plan. Why would anyone pay to not take mustard out of slacks? Well, looks like we got a ray of sunshine over here. I know ray of sunshine. I own dry cleaner. What is wrong with you? I'm so happy that when I was born, someone took part of my dick off and sold it to Sandra Bullock's face. You sick man. Why you let someone cut your dick? Sandra Bullock is a man. Hey, looks like we got the National Enquirer over here. I know National Enquirer. My name's Ming. I work at Dry Cleaner. Wow, this is great. Oh, you know funny. I tell you what funny is. Funny is when man get hit in testicle. I love getting hit in the testicle. You know funny. Wanna know who funny? Fat girl fall downstairs with big hat. It's exact. And that's why the Jewish elite are now spiraling about China, because that cold, because a lot of the grabblers are immoral, where it's upside down, where marriage is slavery, war is peace, abortion is feminism, perversion is pride. It's the upside down. So you take everything good and you make it bad, you take everything bad, you make it good. Chinese people are amoral, which means they don't care. They're just like, this is a table. I got a table and 2 chairs. And a Jewish person be like, I'm just trying to masturbate on a subway and everybody's being anti-Semitic. And the Chinese person's like, kill that man. You know, it's like, but I was innocent. We arrested someone, so someone needed to be beaten. You know, I'm not saying that the Chinese are the good guys. It's just not upside down. It's like, we are in interest of Chinamen. You don't say bad things about Chinese people and expect to play your basketball game here. And they're like, but we're just free. It's like, you get out of here now. And guess what? Now the NBA is going to be cucked to the Chinese because it works every time. If you don't have any principles, you'll just fall for anything. Like the stupid American conservative Republicans gave up the women's bathroom because the NBA, the Jews that own the NBA and the Jews that own the NFL and the Jews that, it's all Jews, and I don't care. Sorry, David at Patreon. What's next? It's like, I'm gonna read you something so you guys understand where I'm coming from. Okay, this was a tweet that Kind Bear runs my Twitter, and he said, just noticed Trump genocide is trending. Grabbers actually went and did it. They really did. Holy shit, they can't help themselves. Stopping war? What's next? Genocide? So I posted that, and this is what I wrote underneath it. And I think a lot of people will relate to this, and it's just exactly what I believe. Yeah, it's not coming up on this, so I'll have to do it on my phone. Here's what I wrote. It's funny because it's true. What's next? Genocide is a Jewish response to a president actively trying to end an actual genocide. I was taught the nature of the lie by my own dad, and I know the results of living in the upside down. There are people who believe war is peace, marriage is slavery, baby murder is feminine, drugs are health, perversion is pride, and on and on and on. People keep calling me brave and courageous for standing up to it, but trust me, I'm not. If you saw the results of the upside down, you'd be running to truth's door, begging to be let in. My own dad isn't allowed in mine or my brother's house, and he spends his days spinning lies and contemplating suicide. I don't judge his soul, only God can do that, but it's very, very bad what happens when you think you can change reality with your will. The despair can't be described with the limitation of human language. So let your yes mean yes, let your no mean no, and only fear God the Father of Jesus Christ. God's law is nature, it is truth, it is reality itself. And if you adhere to it, you will feel love, and if you fight it, you will enter despair. The Jews and homosexuals are at a disadvantage because of their rejection of God's laws. There are many wonderful Jews and many wonderful homosexuals in the world, and as individuals, they deserve love and guidance, just like anyone. No violence, no rage, no hypocritical condemnation should be aimed at your fellow man because of their demographic. He with no sin cast the first stone. But never accept their version of the upside-down world where you will never leave. And you will, if you do, you will live a joyless, ungrateful life of nonsense and abuse. That's why I do this. I'm not saying to hurt these people. I'm not saying to cast stones at them or blame them for your high interest loan or your porn or opioid addiction. I'm saying to reject their worldview. Marriage is not slavery. Abortion is not feminine. Drugs are not health. Banks do not save the money. The Federal Reserve is not federal. It's not reserve. It's like, that's exactly what it is. And if you saw what I saw with my father's been a blessing to me. To see what happens in the upside down. Like the result of a once brilliant and kind man using his own will and perversions and hubris and rejection of God's law, and what happens? It's really bad. And I made the mistake of saying he's going to hell. I completely take that back. I do not know. The Muslims have a great saying that that if you call someone a non-believer, one of you is a non-believer. That's a paraphrase. I don't know exactly the words, but it's very true. It's like if you call someone, if you demonize someone, or you call someone damned, or you call someone fake, it may be true, but one of you is fake. And I've had that with me a few times where people are like, well, because you don't accept Joseph Smith, or because you don't accept this exact book like you, sir. And I'm like, watch out for that. Like my own father, a pervert who stole from my mother to engage in sodomy and all this stuff, like I can't say that he's going to hell. We don't have the right of judging that. But it's like, I can tell you from firsthand experience that if you accept that worldview of, war is peace, marriage is slavery, all that, your life sucks. Like, all it is a never-ending spinning of false narratives and lies and just contemplating suicide, but not even having the balls to do it. That's my dad. And it's like, I once loved him, and on some level I still do love him, and I really hope the best for him. But he's so fucked, and I will never accept that. When David from Patreon writes to me and tries to hold money over my head, you know, they just kicked me off Patreon. I don't care. And it's not $5.11. He owed me $1,900. They're doing creepy grab word numerology. Oh, the number of your posts on Instagram and in videos you've shared online have targeted the Jewish people. It's similar. I will never stop. You can't hold your Babylonian magic money over me, dude. I use little gold stars to motivate my son to do chores with me, and I have unlimited gold stars. It's currency. I learned everything I need to know about currency. And you're little, because listen, if the Bears didn't support me, if you guys didn't send me some honey or join unauthorized, I wouldn't be here doing this. Because one of the principles of the Bible is that you have to provide for your family. So if you like this message being out there, this type of comedy, then support it. Because I won't get supported by, I'm not allowed on PayPal. They're too busy getting little crowdfunding child sex changes. It's like, I would be fine. I would never kneel for these people, but I would have to probably do another job or do something else. So if you like it, support it. That's my whole point. His own Benjamin controlled opposition. Wow, is BM now banned for life? Let the people decide. I didn't have time to wait for the people to decide. He's now banned for life. Is Amy dead? Oh my god. Sick people. I'm gonna play something. This is why I support Trump. And behind the scenes, this is how I operate. And hopefully this can I can explain this well. Behind the scenes, what Trump is saying, he might be doing the opposite. He might be setting up some new world. I don't know. No one does. No one fucking knows. What I like is that a man stands up and says something that we all realize is a true statement. Is he doing it to manipulate? I don't care. Probably he's a politician. But just listen to this speech. Listen to this. Where is it? Where's El Trumpo? And if you want to think that there really is a Republican and Democrat, this is the great Overbear made this. Enjoy. They're very best friends. But check this out. People are now even doing like grassroots, doing odes. They're doing like actual. Just listen to this. I don't know who made this. Someone sent this to me though, and I just keep stuff in my phone. Where is it? 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so that's the type of stuff that me and the Bears inspire. So let's read again what David from his Patreon's endeavors. Patreon endeavors to be a space thought leaders can engage in difficult topics, criticize the powerful and question persuasive ideologies. Patreon doesn't, however, allow creators to propagate negative stereotypes. Okay, so we're doing anti-war songs. We're talking about rejecting the merchants of war. Talk about, you couldn't describe, this isn't ego at all what I'm saying, but you couldn't describe me any better if you tried. A thought leader challenging difficult topics and challenging the powerful elite. Like you couldn't have, you could write down my fucking tombstone. And it's like, oh, you can't do business with us anymore. You don't have the mark of the beast. Oh. Anti-war is anti-Semitism. That's what's happening. Now, listen to this legend Trump. Dude's a legend. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. This is some powerful shit here. Yeah. Let me find it. Is it?
I will tell you, the hardest thing I have to do, by far, much harder than the witch hunt, is signing letters to parents of soldiers that have been killed. And it's not only that, in areas where there's not a lot of upside, if there's any upside at all, and in many cases there's only downside. And especially when that soldier was killed in a blue-on-green attack. You know what that is, right? That's where a soldier being trained or whatever turns his gun on an American soldier. Here, son, take your gun. You know how to use it. And he takes the gun and he turns it and he shoots one. We have many of them in Afghanistan, in particular in Afghanistan. The hardest thing I have to do is signing those letters. That's the hardest thing I have to do. And each letter is different. We make each letter different. And last week I signed 5 of them for Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq, 1 in Syria from 2 weeks ago. And sometimes I call the parents, sometimes I see the parents. I go to Dover when I can, but it's so devastating for the parents that, you know, it's so devastating. When they bring that boy or young woman out of the back of those big, powerful planes in a coffin, and the parents are there. You know, we have people that do that. That's what they do. They work that, they accommodate everybody. That's what they do. They do an incredible job. And I said, the parents seem to be okay. I'll get there early. The parents seem to be okay. Well, actually, sir, they aren't. No, the way they're talking, they're really okay, aren't they? Sir, you never know until the back of that massive cargo plane opens up and they walk down holding a coffin with 4 or 5 great soldiers on each side of it, representing our various forces. That you never know, and then I see it, and I see people that were smiling, oh, Mr. President, thank you for being here, and I think they're doing great. And then 20 minutes later, we'll be outside when that big plane pulls up, and that door comes down, and they are walking the coffin, with a boy inside this coffin with an American flag over the top, and they're walking that coffin down this ramp. And I've seen people that I thought were really incredible, the way they were I didn't even understand how they could take it so well. They scream like I've never seen anything before. Sometimes they'll run to the coffin. They'll break through military barriers. They'll run to the coffin and jump on top of the coffin. Crying, mothers and wives crying desperately. And this is on these endless wars that just never stop. And there's a time and there's a place, but it's time to stop. And just to finish, last Friday I went to Walter Reed, and I gave out 5 Purple Hearts to incredible young men, in this case, all men. And they took a beating. Beautiful people, they took a beating. One couldn't be there because the beating was so great that he was at a totally different part of the world. He lost a leg, he lost an arm. Ryan, he had tremendous damage beyond even what these young folks went through. But I'll tell you what, for me, it's very hard when I see that. It's very hard. It's easy to talk, tough guys, all these tough guys. Let's keep fighting. They had to go to Walter Reed, where they do unbelievable work. I have to tell you, these doctors are unbelievable. It's easy to say, oh, they're the best in the world. I've never seen anything like it. One young man last week had his nose rebuilt. And they said it was in 1,000 pieces. And I said, so where were you hurt? He said, my face, sir, was almost obliterated. I said, you have a better face than I do. He said, sir, I had a doctor who was unbelievable. And they put it together. He said 1,000 fragments. Now, I don't know if that's even possible, but 1,000 fragments. And they put it together. And his father, who was crying, came up to me and said, you're not going to believe this, but my son didn't have a great-looking nose, and now his nose is better. Okay, it's an amazing thing. But when you see these, the Purple Hearts, you see this kind of thing, and I see a lot of it at Walter Reed. And again, the job those doctors and the people do at Walter Reed, it's something to be commended. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
All right, so he's clearly talking about, that speech, when I first heard it, I was just like, I almost had to pull over. And it's like, you can be cynical all you want. He works with the Jews, and he wasn't reading a script. And the power of that speech is he lets people know that they're allowed to think that war is bad. And that the legless men and the people with blown off faces and all the horrors that we've done as a country to these other innocent countries, not innocent, everybody has sinned, but like innocent to us. What if all these tough guys like Shapiro being like, oh, we gotta go help the Kurds. Oh, they're slaughtering in Turkey. You don't care about any of it, and you know it. It's not our business. It's our business. And it's like, these tough guys, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is one of the most despised people in the world. He just started tweeting about why he's like, so Trump's just going to stonewall the impeachment process? Is he trying to get a better... He's so anti-Trump because Trump won't give him blood. And when David from Patreon tells me I'm not allowed to make fun of Jews, my message is peaceful compared to what these people are doing to the world. It's like, I'm saying don't hurt them, just don't engage in their business. Like, don't, be above it. Build families, not war. And it's like, what Trump does, you can be cynical all you want, and you have a right to be cynical because of what the government's done for decades and decades and decades. You're missing my point if you don't understand what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if he's secretly sending troops there or that was all a deal with Turkey. Or like, what matters is he said it out loud. That's what logos is. It's the word, something that's true. And that will inspire people to have children, to say out loud what is true. And that's all that matters. You can't stop the corporate supply chain of the United States. You can't stop Big Pharma, the opioid fields of Afghanistan. All you can do is speak the truth. And the power of that is mind-blowing. And so to watch, I love the Kurds. I work with them in Iraq, but they need to fight their own wars. How do you love the Kurds? I love whey. Eating the Kurds in whey. I don't give a flying fuck about the Kurds. I care about people. I hope that more babies don't die, whether it's a Kurd or a Norwegian or a bike thief. But it's like, it's not our business. These are all rhetorical constructs. We have no right. The world went to shit in America with politics when our Department of War became Department of Defense. We have not defended our country in a century. Defense? And it's like Trump sees these coffins coming home. And he was off the cuff describing the experience of seeing like these brave parents, you know, who are keeping it in, keeping it uptight, you know, being patriotic, and then they run when the door comes down to that plane, that giant plane, that powerful plane, and they see the glimmer of that first casket, you know, draped in the American flag. And there's nothing a mother or a wife or a father can do to stop that wave of emotion that you see when you see your baby boy, your bouncing baby boy grew into a man who's now in a little box. Why? Why are they in the little box? And it doesn't matter what these grabblers do or say or sneak or what Trump's really doing, but he said it out loud. He said that you can be against war, that you can be against these Jewish wars. They're Jewish wars, dude. They're not our wars. It's Israel's fight. It's the bankers' fight. And people go, oh, I can't. Aren't you scared, Big Man? I mean, they might come for you. They already have. I am not allowed to do online commerce. Does it look like it hurts? Does it look like I'm still crushing? Like, they kick you out of hell. And they don't have whatever the biblical demon versus angel deal that they all have. You have to do it to yourself. They can't do it to you. You have to choose the road of the lie. And watching my dad debate suicide, sputtering and muttering as he's not allowed in mine or my brother's homes because of his lies and perversion and power and nonsense. Just seeing a man I love that is gone. It's not brave what I'm doing. If you see the result of these people's lies, you would run to the arms of logos, of truth. Because it ends so bad for them. The Jews are the children of the light. But here's the thing. Don't hurt them. Treat them like creations of God, because they are. As individuals, there can be some really great Jews. There can be some really great homosexuals. You know, that you don't have a right to hypocritically condemn them. He with no sin cast the first stone. But don't live their lies. That's the level that you got to get to. It's like hurting Jews or homosexuals does not stop your problems. It's your decision. You will never be able to get rid of evil. You will never be able to get rid of lies, of sodomy, of child abuse, of rape. Like, you can't do that. So don't even try, because you will enact, you will break one of God's law. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. You're not allowed to hurt them. And that's not cowardice. That's the reality. But you are not forced to live in their lie. You are not forced to say that never-ending, like Babylon B is hysterical. Like, look at this. Trump criticized for breaking with long-standing American tradition of remaining in the Middle East countries indefinitely. See, you can't kill comedy. Babylon B is crushing. You can't pretend that America's history is Judeo-Christian immigration and war. That isn't a nation, that's a corporation. It isn't something that you can found a family on. It isn't something that you can pray with. It isn't something that anyone wants to die for. No one wants to die for Nike. No one wants to die for, Chevrolet or, I can't even think of corporations right now because for AT&T. The United States is nothing more than a corporation. You don't want to die for a Babylonian magic square called the fiat currency that's currently losing all its value. Right now, the dollars in your pocket have 3% of the value they had in 1913. That's it. They lost 97% of the value. Are you going to die for something that's just rotting? It's just rotting. No value in that. Yeah, Fanta, are you going to send your boy to die for Starbucks? That's all it is. A nation is a people. It's a family fractally increased to the macro. It's the families, the cousins, the uncles, the aunts, the neighbors, growing, intermarried, like family, blood, tradition, faith, belief. Those are the things people die for. When they see their son in a casket, they're proud. They say, he died for us. He is a hero. Right now, young men are dying for a corporation, for a swoosh, for Chase Bank. People are done with it. Zionists are all showing who they are. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's getting to the point where pray for them. They're fucked. Do people not see? Take my word from it. I'm right a year ahead of schedule a lot. These people are not in a powerful position. They're in a position, the parasitic class of the world, and it's not just Jews at all. There's tons of parasites in this world. Me and my friends call them Canaanites. They're incapable of making anything or growing anything. It's not just small hats, of course, and there's many small hats that are farmers. It's not that simple. It's simple when you see the behavior of the individual, right? It's like their entire operation they require anonymity and lies. Mass programming, mass lies, mass people controlling themselves, calling themselves, cucking themselves, begging that they can send their child to another bank war. That's required. The Great Awakening is a synonym for apocalypse. Who do you think named it? Who do you think gave this horrible connotation to apocalypse? The elite. Because the apocalypse simply means the unveiling of truth. It doesn't mean the end of the world. It means the end of the world to the people who are demonizing the word apocalypse. Revelation is not the end. Will you fight that? Please don't slaughter your family, bro. Babylon B is owned by Superior. Alright. Way radio. Alright, man. And it's like, just watch how little these narratives work on me. Like, all these narratives that I'm something I'm clearly not, and it doesn't work. People are like, not only is Owen not crazy, and not a drug addict, and not a drunk, and not abusive, and it's like, it couldn't be more upside down. No more blood for Home Depot, exactly. Alright, one thing I noticed is your fans are legit. A lot of comedians have fake volunteers are real. Here's the thing, it's like, sometimes I'll talk about, like, having a high IQ or being talented or stuff like that, and must be nice. Oh, blah, blah, blah. What people don't understand is how many of us feel alone. And they gather here. The Bears are like a massive group of honest, intelligent, hardworking, good human beings. And so when I say stuff like that, it doesn't alienate people because they feel the same way. And it isn't a brag, because a lot of us live in a world where we can deduce things and create things and other people hate us for it. So we all meet around the Big Bear tent pole, and that's it. And it's like, that's why it's not a ego-driven thing that I say that. It's a rallying cry. It's a lighthouse. When I say, like, I'm crazy smart, and other people are like, finally someone admits that we're in a weird, like, minority class that gets fucked with all the time. It's like, does anyone else not see this pattern? And then it comes true a year and a half later, and everyone forgot because they're so poisoned with fluoride and pornography. It's just like, and it's not even just about IQ. It's like also about honesty. You can have an IQ of 80, and if your logo's honest, hardworking, you're more valuable than a Weinstein brother. It's people that their yes is yes, their no is no. It amps your, practical IQ of like what you can contribute exponentially. If you have, like, that's why like my shows are so fun for people, is because I'm not the main event. The main event is the people. It's like you guys meet each other. There's been families made. People have had children that they've met on bear chats. It's like when I say these things, it only alienates the weak, the dumb, and the children of the lie. And that's a good thing. I do it on purpose. I'm not in this for clicks and money. I'm not in this for the branding. I don't want the mass demographic. The media and Hollywood and the news and comedy have been gutted. It's only people appealing to the dumbest, weakest, most brain-numb population, because then the smart have to go along and watch The Big Bang Theory because there's nothing else. Well, this is another option. And there are millions of us. Millions. It's not about having a genius IQ, but those people exist too, and they don't have anywhere to go. Like, really put yourself in that position. Put yourself in a position where your brain operates really fast. It's almost like being around really drunk people all the time. I've worked in bars. A lot of you have probably worked in bars where you don't drink, you're checking IDs, you're picking up glasses, and everyone's shit-faced. Like, that's how the life can seem when you're around fans of the Kardashians or like the current comedy. You know, when Dave Chappelle is stealing my jokes from 2.5 years ago and being touted as being edgy, it's like, that was a throwaway joke from 2.5 years ago, Dave. Run with it. It's like, and this isn't ego. Ego is a result of damage. Ego is fear manifested in your own personality. Ego is saying like, I am. You know, it's like, I matter. That's a result of fear. Ego is it's when your personality is manifested through trauma and fear. Not a good thing. We all have it. We all have a bit of it. It's in every human being, but it's not what this is. It's a rallying cry. Yeah, it's honestly very draining. It's draining. It's draining to be around idiots. And it's like, a lot of times it's not their fault. They just are like, I want pee-pee on my penis. And you're just like, okay, man. Like, what are you supposed to talk about? It's just like, they've accepted so many tickets, because I don't think it's really just like IQ. It's like they've accepted so many tickets of lies and pleasure and nonsense and trauma and ego-based mind control and all this stuff, to the point where it's like, what are we going to talk about? That bar metaphor was really true. Yeah, it's very true. And it's like, when you look at what I do here and what we do, about every day there's a new song that's mind-blowing, or memes, or like music, or comedy. The Bears are making stuff, just sending like metalworks, and people are blown away by it. It's only because I'm saying it's okay. Do you understand how repressed creativity and intelligence is? Beauty? Look at the old cathedrals that they keep trying to burn down. Beautiful. Hard work. Stone. These are made by peasants. It's not that it requires some weird social class, right? And then they erect these giant boxes that fall down in 50 years. That just suck. They don't pay attention to where the sun rises or sets. There's nothing. It's like made by retards. And it's draining to be in such an ugly world, and that's why when we're here and people just send me videos and everyone's like, dude, the Bears are crushing, because human beings are meant to create. Not the Canaanites, though. They're parasites. But it's like, so when you say it's okay to be smart, it's okay to say, something going on with that Vegas shooting. Huh. And people are like, how dare you? It's like, one of the most demonized groups of people in the world are intelligent, creative, free-thinking people. People that can... Our current society is operating at an IQ of 80. That's about what it is. It's like, the guns go boom, boom, people fall down, I give the guns to the people. And BB, my wife and I love your streams, wish you were our neighbor. I am your neighbor. I'll double dog dare you. cans are being crushed at the bar. Cursed is the canine. The canine can't grow or make. Pretty accurate. Alright, so what else we got here? Someone sent Amy the female tool belt. I thought that was pretty funny. You know, as you can see, a home builder, housewife, mother is not enslaved. She's in fact, she just woke up in this picture, just stunningly beautiful. As you can see in the background, that's Winston Churchill planning another war crime. My son Winston Churchill. Yeah. What's this? Oh, this is funny. This might explain why the small hats are so terrified of global warming. In 1938, global warming caused by man heating the planet with carbon dioxide is quote-unquote likely to prove beneficial to mankind in several ways, besides the provision of heat and power. Quarterly Journal of the Royal Meteorological Society. Yeah, 38, things started to really turn, didn't they? I find little tidbits like that interesting. And then, of course, the troglodytes just go, you anti-Semite, bad man! Winston Churchill bit is so good. It's true. He just looks like Winston Churchill, and he's always plotting some sort of Indian or German genocide. Is Epstein dead? I now think he's dead. I don't know, though. There's no way anyone can know. Maybe you're just Lyriximus Maximus. Thank you. 80 IQ seems about right for Don Pettit. Yeah, it's like the people that are connected to the world, like Ellen and all these monsters, they're just so dumb. I'm not saying that the people are dumb, but their message is at such a low frequency. It's to get as many people into their bucket as possible. It's just like farming squirrels. And it's like the bears are just bears. It's like bear hunting is much different than just, growing molds. They're just like mushroom farmers. Like Ben Shapiro is so fucking evil and dumb that like his message is so easy to see through at this point that like you have to be submitted to believe anything he says. It's crazy. And for every tree destroyed, 10 should be planted. That's retarded. Ellen and Oprah are the devil. I wouldn't give them that. They're just lesbian despair merchants. Guys, my dad is a successful man. Like, I don't think you guys, some of you understand the despair that comes from this stuff. It's like, Ellen and Oprah probably think about suicide every day. If you fight God's law, you live in hell. It's a fact. That's why you should have compassion for these people. The only people I really strike at a lot are the ones that are actively trying to start another war. Because you have to accept the war. They might do another false flag. False flags aren't really working anymore. They kind of over-pressed that button. But just never accept it. You're a human being. You're a living human being. Never accept that we should send our children to a foreign land to bring gold back to the Jews. And they'll call you an anti-Semite because they shame. It's like, you have to be able to withstand that. If not, you prove you're an animal. And it's written in the Talmud. Like, we are cattle if we accept that. And they're right. That's real. If you accept nonsense, you are cattle. And they will treat you as such. If you don't accept it, they can't do anything. They can't make a nation send their children to fight a foreign war for gold unless you accept it. They don't have the ability. There's like 9 of them, and they're all just rollerblading and butt-fucking each other. Rachel Matt out needs a new pantsuit. No one is having more fun. Exactly. You have to accept it. The unshameable will experience shame if you deserve it. Like if you get wasted and piss on yourself at a company party and people shame you for it. Yeah. Don't be ashamed at speaking what's true. Don't be ashamed at being a protective father. That's insane. That's the upside down. Guys, marriage is slavery. Abortion is feminine. War is peace. Sodomy is pride. Drugs are health. Like, it's obvious. The Federal Reserve is not federal and it reserves nothing. Once you see the pattern, it's everywhere. And reject the pattern. Put gravy on the biscuits. Alright, Ellen thinks she's doing good. No, she doesn't. She doesn't. She's a demon pursuing her perversions. That's all it is. She doesn't think she's doing good. You don't think you don't think these people know what they're doing? How fucking deranged are you guys? It's nuts. It's like, oh yeah, when Ellen goes on there, no, I'm not even gonna get into it. Alright, let's read some letters. Hello, Owen, Amy, and Cubs. I want to start by thanking you as always for saving my life as an inspiring comedian, podcaster who has been heavily inspired by your brilliant work, but more importantly, your wise words and compassion for others, which have helped make me a better man. I'm still on my journey to becoming a legend, but I want to make sure you know and understand that you are really helping us. Since finding your stream last year, I'm no longer an atheist, a smoker, a drinker, porn user, sterile sexer, fearmonger, despair merchant, or general degenerate. Awesome. So you probably also won't be allowed on Patreon. I can't thank you enough for helping encourage me along the way. My brain feels like it has superpowers now. My body is actually functional and healthy. My comedy and writing skills have improved beyond measure. And I'm just a good person that people want to be around. Thank you. Offensive Bear at Sean V Planet on Twitter. Thank you, Sean V Planet. I'll check this out. I'll plug your stuff here though. At Sean V Planet, my website is SeanVPlanet.com, and you can find my content at Sean V Planet on YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Check them out. Encourage other artists that don't suck the devil's dick. I don't know if he's funny or not, but he sounds cool. It's like this message actually works. And I've had people come up to me and say, dude, you got me off a violent path. This is what Jews need to understand about my message. It's like, there's people that do feel like there's no way to express themselves, that they're sick of their friends dying for wars, opium, all this stuff. It's like, and they want to hurt somebody. And it's like they stumble upon this stream and they realize there's another option, that you disengage and you don't accept their pattern of living. And I've had people tell me that they were like really, really angry. You know, like a lot of black people in city, a lot of bike thieves in cities right now are just punching Jews in the face. It's not being reported. Quote unquote hate crime is on the rise in cities. It's black dudes who feel they don't have any way out. There's no one to listen to them. There's no one talking about how they keep being kicked out of their apartment buildings by Hasidic Jews, and they just are coming up and just popping them in the face. It's real, dude. Jews are just getting fucked up in cities. Bad move. It's like, but I get it. You know, I understand how people feel they don't have a way out. They're like, no one's listening. I can't live anywhere. I'm on drugs. You know, I have nothing going for me. There's no women. This girl just aborted my baby. Who's to pay? It's the people in charge of all these. Powerlessness equals violence. Exactly. No fathers. Exactly. And it's like, they are this close to seeing it. That you don't punch them in the face. That's another act of cattle. Like a donkey will kick you in the face. You are a human being. What you do is you disengage from their worldview and realize that marriage is not slavery. Slavery is slavery. Lincoln didn't free the slaves. He made everyone a fucking slave. And then you see the world the way it should be. Your anxiety goes down, your depression goes down, your productivity goes up, your love for fellow man goes up. Women are more attracted to you because you seem like a life force that can make a baby in their belly. They don't want to kill the baby. And everything, and just ladles of gravy. And so when Jews are scared of me, it's so stupid. It's like, do you not understand that I'm giving people a way out of the hatred that they feel right now? Because everyone can feel the heat rising. No fathers and low IQs. Yeah, I mean, some of them have IQs that are decent, but yeah, a lot of no fathers. But whites have a lot of boomer fathers. My wife just came home. One second. A couple more messages, then we're flying to Europe. Jews are their own worst enemies. Right, that's why you should guide them, Hector Bear. Same with homos. It's like, you can reject it. And one thing that's helped homos is watching a dude like me talk about rejecting porn. Because it's a perversion. You know, it's an impulse. It's it's a drive. It's a dirty little treat. And I'm admitting how bad it is for my mind and how bad it was for my body, my soul, and the rejection of it. You can apply that to being a homo. It's the same thing. You know, it's a perversion. And so instead of being like one of these churchy and Christian psychopaths, it's like, how dare you all? I'm great. I'm crushing. You all are sinners. I've openly talked about battling things and perversion. I mean, watching pornos and whacking off, it's weird. It's not as bad as putting your cock in his ass, but it's like, it's fucking weird. And I've had to battle that. I used to whack off all the time. And so I think homos feel less judged by me than they do, because a lot of homos are put in an unwinnable position, because it's like all these leftists and woke retards are pretending like what they're doing is admirable, which it isn't, and they know it isn't. Like, they know that what they're doing is bad. It makes them feel terrible. Their life sucks, full of despair, drugs, sodomy. But yet, and then some of these holier than thou Christians are just like, how dare you? And it's like, we all fight stuff. We all fight stuff. Like, the thought of wanting to put your ween in a dude is like really, really gross to a lot of us, and like kind of hard to imagine. But fly on the wall, having someone look at a little square where like a runaway is fucking a dude for drug money on camera, and you're just like frantically rubbing your own dick. It's like, that's fucking weird. Alright. Yeah, I will be streaming from Europe. Sodomy is gross. Yeah, I know, but so is beating into pornos. And it's like, when the homo realizes that we all battle something, they can actually put their life... I've had letters from homos telling me they quit being homos. Hey, love, what are you up to? Okay, cool. You good? Alright, cool. BB, tips for last night's song around the piano. After a day in the cubicle, it was so absolutely appreciated. You verified me as Barrett to Bear over 2 years ago, and then you said it was okay to change our name. Was getting a lot of... What happened at the UPS? Okay. Sorry to hear that. You want me to do it? I'm almost done. Sure? Was getting a lot of grief with that name, so I own a 186-pound Timberwolf. Thought maybe you could verify me as Wolf Pup Bear. Welcome. Being with you since Saranac Lake, you were on the first Toe show after his sober October. He was not sober from sodomy, though, I bet. I've always been grateful for Toe's introduction to you, but can't watch him anymore. You're doing great, kid. Much love, Wolf Pup Bear. Thank you, Wolf Pup Bear. Shall we continue? Thank you, Papa J. Bear. I'm getting heckled today, man. Holy shit. Some of these comments are nuts. What guys? Google General Bears, Google Zionism versus Bolshevism by Winston Churchill used to be based. Yeah, he was based until he owed Natty Rothschild 80,000 pounds. That will make you very unbased very fast. Hey, Big Bear. Runner Bear here. I want to tell you a quick story that I think the Bears will really enjoy. A few days ago while at work as a landscaper, I was listening to you tell the parable of the prodigal son. It was my first time hearing the story, and let me tell you, it hit like a damn brick. There I am in a busy city shopping